So I found out that I am a woman of color in the United States, and I didn't know that before.
Walking around on a day-to-day, it can feel very isolating here at UW being a woman of color.
For me in particular, growing up without any kind of community, being a mixed race person, a biracial person, in a community where half of the people were white and half of the people were Latino, you feel very divided.
A lot of us come from a family background or community background that's very tight-knit, and I think academia is just something that wants to isolate you and individualize you.
I think the Academy wants you to think that the work is just really, it's so untouchable, but the work is actually us.
My name is Samantha Brody. Most people call me Sammy.
My name is Barbie Danielle DiCarlo.
My name is Monica de la Torre.
My name is Jennifer DeSac.
My name is Martha Gonzalez.
I'm Nicole Madsen.
My name is Noralis Rodriguez.
My name's Irene Sanchez.
Discourse
class,
Color
in
and
Academia. I chose to take this course, Women of Color in Academia, because of the title. There are no other courses at UW that are called Women of Color in Academia.
And I'm taking this course, 577, Women of Color in Academia, because my intention is to go to grad school, and I'm keeping this kind of informal poll that I'm running, which is for grad school or for something else. So it's not necessarily against grad school. And so this course is helping me get some ideas about, as a woman of color in academia, what are some things I might face?
I know that women, especially women of color, are very much marginalized in academia. I came from in my master's program, mostly Chicano Latino cohort. So I knew that coming up to Washington was going to be a change and was going to be perhaps a difficult change. So I decided to enroll in the class knowing that it would provide a space to talk about issues that a lot of Chicana, Latina, and other women of color go through in academia.
I want to know more about skills for survival, not only in the academia in the United States, but also how can I support women of color in Puerto Rico.
Redefining what community meant. It doesn't just mean like, oh, we have the same language or we have the same ethnic background. It means something more than that. And I think in this class, it does mean something more, because we're a pretty diverse group of women, and yet we find all this commonality and everybody's talking and laughing. I mean, we laugh loud in this class, and I think that that's a great sign of community, is the laughter.
I wanted to challenge myself in the sense of I'm not as familiar with feminist theory or women's studies in general, and I just wanted to see how I can incorporate those theories and ideas into my work in education. And what I found, they just complement each other, and also I've just had a great opportunity to meet people outside of the College of Education and to know that there's support systems across the campus.
Specifically, this course just seems to challenge so many different ideas that we learn here on campus and what a lot of our future teachers, our pre-service teachers, are learning. And I just think this knowledge needs to be disseminated in one way or another. So even if it's through informal discussions I have after our informal discussions, people are being exposed to different ideas that they aren't necessarily being exposed to in the College of Ed, which is where my main body is. But I'm gravitating more toward women's studies.
As women of color in the world, I think it's a lot of the same sort of practices that we've encountered our entire lives, how to resist or not always resist, but just to create alternative spaces. I think what I learned here is how they contextualized it for me in the sense of how it can develop within academia. And so that's really useful because it kind of shed a light on how academia really works. And like you kind of envision the monster, the way it is, but until somebody really articulates it for you, then it's like, oh shit, it's like, this is heavy stuff, this is really well organized and really subversive ways of getting, women of color out of academia, and so it sort of gives me new tools and ways of looking at the tools I've always had and how to implement them in the social justice struggles as they apply to academia.
For me, taking this course, especially this quarter, was very important because I think I've mentioned it before, and I know a lot of other women I know have felt this way. When you feel like you're isolated, you want to drop out of school, you feel like no one understands you, you feel like you don't have a place, nowhere really where you can express yourself, your voice, your concerns, the issues that we've talked about, being women of color, having to navigate through different spaces and circles, and it's hard, it's challenging at times, and if you feel alone, then it's more likely, I think, that you would give up. But if you know there's other folks around that are going through similar issues as you, then it becomes a little bit easier, especially when you talk about them.
There's so many people that have worked hard to get you here, and I think it presents a very interesting a situation for someone that you're not just going to school for yourself, you're going to school for your family, for those members of your family that couldn't go to school.
I've loved the idea of talking about testimonial text, and I'm really, really looking into this in a deeper way as I move forward in my graduate studies, because it doesn't seem like it, or I haven't been exposed to it prior to this course. And I really feel like if we're gonna make this transformative change in education, we need to look at it from the voices who we're hoping to move forward in their own education. And if we can't hear what's going on in our schools from those students who are in those schools, then nothing is going to be meaningful to them if it's not addressing what their specific concerns are. And we spent a lot of time this quarter talking about testimonial, and I truly believe that this is the only way we're going to make changes in the schools that are going to be truly transformative.
But the one thing that I can take with me from this class is also a combination with this last conference, National Women's Studies Association, that I just went, is that we can do it, and we can transform the society, and that we can make a change, and we can succeed not only in the academia, but also in our lives, and we can finish graduate school, and we can go out of there and make a big change.
I will take from the class a sense of pride. I think a lot of times people of color have a lot of shame in their heritage and shame in where they come from. And to be surrounded by other women of color that feel pride in who they are and their different aspects of life, it's definitely community again, but it's that pride in difference and that pride in, I may not be what the university or what the academy expects me to be, but I am who I am. And I make this environment better because I'm here.
My advice would be, you're not alone. There are people like you. There are people who are here to help you usher your way. And that mentors aren't hard to find. They're not difficult to find. That your ideas are important no matter what. That's what I would say.
I'm a second-year master's student in the College of Education, and my program is called Educational Leadership and Policy Studies in Higher Education, with an emphasis in student affairs.
I'm here at the University of Washington. I'm a returning student coming back to finish a few credits left in my 2 degrees, undergraduate degrees in geography and in Latin American studies, where my focus is Brazil. And I'm also getting a minor in diversity studies and a minor in women's studies.
I am a first-year graduate student. I never know to say graduate or PhD student, but I'm in the PhD program in women's studies at University of Washington.
In the College of Ed, a second-year doctoral student, although I've been here at the UW for 4 years, from the master's program into the doctoral program.
I'm in the women's studies. I'm a third-year women's studies graduate student.
I'm in my second year at the master's in social work program. here at the U.
I'm a PhD student at the University of Washington in the Women's Studies program.
I am a PhD student in the College of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies, Higher Education.